Our guest today wears multiple hats. He started from the beautiful town of Kalimpong, and since then, he has ventured into multiple fields. He's a stand up comedian, a writer, director, producer, creator, and now an author. He has curated shows like Savdhan India, India Fights Back, Crime Patrol, and Fear Files. He has also acted on the big screen in movies like Sui Dhaga and Mission Mangal. Now, he has released his best-selling novel in true crime genre, The Deadly Dozen. It is truly an honor to have you with us today, Mr. Anirban Bhattacharya. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच कशिश। और अनिर्बाण भट्टाचार्य ना काफी लंबा सा नाम है, तो ए भी करके छोटा कर दो, नहीं तो अनिर्बाण भट्टाचार्य हर बार बोलोगे तो 5 सेकंड निकल जाएगा, है ना?
जी बिल्कुल.
You can call me AB.
Right. Coming to you, Mr. AB, I would like to ask you from the very beginning. So I know that you did your schooling in Kalimpong. So I would like to know that how were you then, like in school?
In school, so the name of the school is Dr. Graham's Homes. It's in Kalimpong, right at the foothills of the Kanchenjunga. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. You can get lost over there. About 400 acres of campus. तो आप खो जा सकते हो वहाँ पे, इतना बड़ा सा कैंपस है, और कोएड भी था.
अच्छा.
तो काफी अच्छा था. तो when I first went to school, मैं काफी सहमा हुआ सा था. I was very very shy, and I used to get bullied a lot, and I was very bad at sports. I still am bad at sports. तो वो चेंज नहीं हुआ, और मैं थोड़ा सा मोटा टाइप का भी था, और so I was very shy and introvert till I discovered literature, debating, elocution, theater, and all of that, and that's how I sort of became an extrovert towards the end of the schooling period. So by about class 6-7 I sort of came out and became this extrovert. So ज़्यादा चेंज नहीं हुआ है उसके बाद. तभी भी शैतान था, अभी भी शैतान हूँ.
Oh, so was it there that when you were an introvert you would do some shaitani and nobody came to know because nobody suspected you?
जब मैं इंट्रोवर्ट था तब जूनियर स्कूल में था, तो ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं किया था. सिर्फ I joined in class 2, तो class 3 में I fell in love with a girl. तो so we used to sit next to each other. वही शैतानी किया था, और वो हाथ पकड़ के हम बैठते थे क्लास में. सपना देखते थे कि हाँ एक दिन हमारी शादी होगी, ये होगा वो होगा, और टीचर ने पकड़ ली, और या टीचर ने तो वो ईयर्स वो ट्विस्ट करके बेंच में खड़ा कर दिया. अब कोएड स्कूल में एक लड़का और एक लड़की को एक साथ बेंच के ऊपर खड़ा कर दिया जा रहा है. मामला गड़बड़ है. तो गड़बड़ ये था कि इस लड़की का जो है एल्डर ब्रदर स्टडीड इन क्लास 5.
Okay.
And he was a very good boxer. तो सीनियर था, तो उसको पता चल गया कि मेरे बहन के ऊपर किसी ने लाइन मारा है. And we were class 3, it's an innocent kind of holding hands, I love you, and writing sweet little notes to each other. So then he cornered me in the school toilet.
Oh my God.
And he picked me up, literally. वैसे ही छोटा सा था, तो वो बॉक्सर था, तो वो मुझे ग्राउंड से उठा लिया और बोला, इफ यू एवर टॉक टू माय सिस्टर आई विल किल यू. तो मैं बाथरूम में ही था, तो मैं जल्दी जल्दी जो कुछ करना था वहीं पे कर दिया. डरा हुआ था. सो दैट वाज द ओनली मिस्चिफ आई थिंक आई डिड व्हेन आई वाज इन जूनियर स्कूल. उसके बाद सीनियर स्कूल में तो अब क्या कहे काशिश मैडम आपको.
Oh wow. That's really interesting. That's such a filmy plot, though. Like,
it is a filmy plot. In fact, I'm writing a memoir about growing up in Kalimpong and Kolkata, about my childhood. So this story features there, in it. So it was a beautiful place, and it was filmy in the sense that हर सुबह उठ के आप कांचनजंगा देखते थे. तो हम वो देख के तो हम थक गए थे, इतना बोरियत आ गई थी. बोले ओ यार ये क्या है. अभी सोच के बहुत अफसोस होता है, और वी फील लाइक ओ माय गॉड आई वांट टू सी दोस माउंटेन्स अगेन, you know. So we really miss the mountains. So, but it's a beautiful, uh, campus and lovely school. And we were very blessed to have amazing teachers. Old school. I don't know how old you are. You are, I think, about 22,
Yes.
20, yeah, 22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Okay. So, back in our day, we were very, very blessed to have very nice teachers. Very old school teachers, who were quick to reprimand you, but very quick to also love you.
Oh, that's
You
nice.
know, and because it's a boarding school, so the teachers knew what mischief we were up to, क्योंकि हर दिन मुलाकात हो रहा है, टीचर्स भी कैंपस में रहते हैं, तो उसको उनको पता होता था कि ये बच्चा जो है ये किया है शैतानी, तो एक फैमिली वाले अटैचमेंट
Yeah.
हो जाता है. सो आई हैव वन ऑफ माय फेवरेट टीचर्स, मिस्टर जेवियर. ही taught me in class 4. He is in Sydney.
Oh,
He stays in Sydney. Yeah, he stays in Sydney. So we are still in touch and on WhatsApp, and we talk to each other. We call up once in a while. So that
That
was
is
the thing. My school principal. I used to write letters to him. Every other month. I used to call up, chat with him. He passed away about a year ago. Unfortunately, he was um, old. And but what a gentleman. So I mean, you sort of grow up in an atmosphere, na, कि
yeah.
सब जानते, and I am more closer to my classmates than I am to my family, which is quite strange.
Because you spend so
Because
much time with them, I
yeah,
believe.
correct. वो साल का 12 महीने में से 9 महीने 10 महीने में बोर्डिंग स्कूल में था,
हाँ.
और 2-3 महीने के लिए हम घर वापस जाते थे विंटर हॉलीडेज के लिए, क्योंकि बहुत ठंड होती थी वहाँ. तो so I am still in touch with my classmates, and they are family. They're not even classmates now. They are family. I know, God forbid, if anything should happen to me and I pick up the phone and I say, lag gaye. They'll take the next flight out and and be there.
But I can only imagine spending so long, like from second grade till 12th grade, did you study in that school?
10th till 10th.
Oh, 10th, perfect. And then you
because yeah, 12th I would have. Unfortunately, they didn't have arts.
Oh,
और साइंस में तो डब्बा था, और कॉमर्स मींस मैथ्स, उसमें भी डब्बा था, तो ना मैं कॉमर्स ले सका या साइंस, तो मुझे कलकत्ता वापस आना पड़ा. और देन आई टुक अप इंग्लिश लिटरेचर एट सेंट जेवियर्स कॉलेज, कोलकाता.
wow, that is
Yeah.
amazing. So, did you have like interest in literature, like you'd mentioned in debating
Always.
days? Always.
Always. क्योंकि मैं सहमा हुआ बच्चा था, तो the only outlet I found was books. So मैं लाइब्रेरी से बुक लेके कोई एक कोने में बैठ के मैं पढ़ता था, हर दिन पढ़ता था. So I grew up on the usual diet of Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Enid Blyton, The Enchanted Forest and The Wishing Chair, and all of those books. कभी कभी मन करता था कि oh यार, I wish the Enchanted Forest really existed. I would want to go to the land of topsy turvy,
Oh,
or the
God.
land of ice creams and all of that. So
Yeah.
और भूख भी लगता था ना बोर्डिंग स्कूल में. तो वही याद आता था खाना. So always loved books, always loved literature. Or my grandmother was married off at the age of 13. तो उस जमाने में होता था. So she couldn't finish her schooling, and so there was a little bit of a fear in her, which happened ki she didn't want her grandchildren and children to grow up without books. क्योंकि एक खुद का डर बैठ गया था कि though she
Yeah.
completed her graduation sitting with her own daughter, eldest daughter.
Oh my
She
God, that's so
finished her-
inspiring.
Yeah. And they went to the same college and did it. So she, from a very young age, she taught us how to read and the love for stories. So I completely owe this to my grandmother. Love for reading and literature and all of that. So that's how, I guess, my earliest memories of my grandmother is I used to always sleep with them, with my grandfather and grandmother. So I used to sleep in between them. So while my grandmother used to tell me stories, my grandfather used to, tussle my hair and put me to sleep. So that's the earliest memory that I have.
That's
Every
nice.
night was story time. Every night was story time. You know. So yeah.
Yeah, that is great.
That's
So I was wondering, I also read up and then I was looking at your stand-up comedy career. So
mm-hmm.
I love watching stand-up comedy. It's something I go to. I almost watch it every day. But it's really
Mm.
hard to do it. How was it for you, like to start up with stand-up, and what drove you to it?
So everybody called me funny. वो typical वाला जो होता है, यार तू तो बहुत funny है यार, तेरे को stand up करना चाहिए यार, वो वाली conversation था. But I always loved being on stage. And in 2011, um, there was a very small scene of stand-up comedy in India. There wasn't anything in India. There was only in Mumbai at that point of time. So the Comedy Store had come down. This is the UK franchise, world famous Comedy Store. So they came down and opened a venue in Mumbai, and they called for their first open mic. And so I registered just on a lark. I said, let's do it. So I wrote my set, which was, I think, about 7 minutes long. And I went and I performed and I won. So that was, so I am the first open mic winner of comedy in India.
Oh my God, that's a
So,
big achievement.
या कुछ बिग अचीवमेंट कुछ नहीं था, कुछ था, कोई पार्टिसिपेट ही नहीं करता था उस जमाने में. बट so on that night I think there were about 16 people who participated. So anyway, I won, and that's how it sort of started off, and I realized I enjoyed doing it. Lekin real life takes over, where you have to earn your bread and butter, and so my job sort of swallowed up my ambitions of being a stand-up comedian at that point of time. I've done shows where in Pune I have performed and it went phenomenally. And I've come back the next night and I've done the same set in Mumbai, and Mumbai people haven't even laughed. So you get, ये कैसे हो गया? कल रात तो है कर रहा था public, आज हु कर रहा है कैसे? So yeah, it's a also stand-up comedy. It's a very scary thing because you're naked in front of the audience.
So where did all of this start for you?
Primary career is television. So I did my masters in mass communication from Jamia, and I arrived in the city of dreams in 1998.
Oh, that's the year I was
22 years
born.
ago. Thanks, huh? Thanks. So I came in '98. I came to Bombay and I started working in television, and I joined Channel V.
Yeah.
उस ज़माने में Channel V music channel था. So I got to work with a lot of lovely people, VJs, Gaurav Kapoor, Purab Kohli,
Oh yeah.
Ranveer Shore, Vinay Pathak, all of these guys,
That's nice. And you went to Channel V, like as a teenager, I used to watch Channel V, and Channel V was like the thing. And I was doing media, and like everybody used to discuss Channel V shows. And now that it stopped,
correct.
Everybody was pretty sad about it.
Yeah, correct. So you must have been watching the soaps and all of that on Channel V.
Yeah, which
Dil
was
Dosti Dance and all of those.
Bilkul. Dil Dosti Dance, Saada Haq, and all of those shows, and even like a lot of cool music used to come on Channel V, like because.
Correct. So in my time, there was no soaps or anything on. We were purely a music channel. So we were like the Indian version of MTV, So it was just purely music channel and entertainment shows. So lots of travel shows, lots of humor-based shows. So there was no, daily soaps and all of that at that point of time.
So what were you doing in Channel V? Like,
I used to produce and direct my shows. So when I say produce means you decide the content and you design the content. So I used to create and direct shows for them, write and all of that. And then I became the content head of the channel.
Wow.
So technically I am I think the only person who started off in the lowest rungs in the company of Channel V and then went on to head the content at Channel V. So that's so थोड़ा सा emotional हूँ मैं Channel V के बारे में. Great place. And so we got to do a lot of shows. We did a show called Pop Stars जहाँ पे एक बैंड आया Viva, उसके बाद आसमा.
Yeah.
चंदू की क्या
Chandu yeah.
Correct. So there was that. Then I did a show called V on the Run, which was about travel show with Purab Kohli and all of that. So it's lots of interesting shows we used to do.
You also
So
directed
that was my music video.
Yeah, with Euphoria.
Yes. रोक सको तो रोक लो. आगे आगे ना ना ठहरे.
I know.
Na 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 na. Very nice. We had lovely people. And I think one of the sweetest bands, of the country, Euphoria and Parikrama, both of them. Lovely people.
Euphoria was actually one of my first concerts that I ever been to because they came to my city and then luckily they were
which
close-
city was this?
Indore. So they were close to the school area and like the entire school crowd was there, everybody was there, so we all went to see Euphoria. So I was wondering, so you actually were singing now, so did you pick up any music or were you interested in music because you did a lot of work with Channel V and...
Oh yeah, I love music. I was in the school choir, so I used to sing once upon a time. I was a tenor voice. So I used to sing. I play the guitar very little, I think about 7 chords. I sing once in a while. Music is my passion. I love it. I have bought myself a record player. I'm collecting old vinyls and all of that of my favorite bands. So that is.
That's nice. Is there any specific song that you really like and would you like to hum it for us?
No.
Pretty please.
No. What song? That song, and I remember Masoom ka. Everything like तुझसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं सब परेशान हूँ मैं जीने के लिए सोचा ही नहीं. Every time I hear this song, it comes on screen, I start crying. Hey, Mummy!
So nice.
Beautiful film.
So I would like to go further from there and ask you about this thing, and I got really excited when I read about it. You worked with Walt Disney's flagship show, Studio Disney. So how was it working for it? Because I absolutely love Disney. Like that has been my childhood thing, and I absolutely still love it. So
everybody loves Disney. When we were growing up, that's one of the earliest things that you want sort of encounters Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse also.
And Mickey Mouse Clubhouse in your time, and Winnie the Pooh, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and Cinderella and Pinocchio, all those movies. So I got an opportunity to work with Disney in 2004. They were coming into India at that point of time, and they were going to launch 2 channels. So I applied for the job and I got hired. So I worked with the team who had traveled down from Hong Kong and from the UK and the US to launch the 2 channels in India. So in 2004 we launched 2 channels in India, and I was there for a couple of years. I worked with them, and बहुत ही अच्छा experience रहा. क्योंकि एक जो if you're in marketing or if you're in brands and all of that, there is no better brand respect than Disney.
Of course.
And you really understand what brand means and how one sort of protects the brand. जैसे अभी suppose I was head of the brand solutions team, तो काफी clients आते थे, अब बोलते थे we want to invest in your channel, we have 20 lakhs, what can we get for 20 lakhs? Can we get Mickey for 20 lakhs? So Mickey is the number one property. You don't touch him. You cannot touch him. You know, unless and until it's an exclusive deal worth crores. You know, so then we had to design content and give them, and give them Chip and Dale, or give them something else, or Goofy, or DuckTales, or something like that. So it was a beautiful learning experience, for me to be working on such a huge brand. और बचपन से डिज्नी डिज्नी देखते आए हुए हैं, तो जब मैं एक दिन ऑफिस में ऐसे ही बैठा था और मैं चारों तरफ देखा ऐसे, तो देखा इधर मिकी का पोस्टर है, उधर कार्स का पोस्टर है, उधर स्नो वाइट का पोस्टर है, ये वो, एंड आई रियली गॉट ओवरवेल्म्ड, क्योंकि बचपन से देखते आए हुए. आई रिमेम्बर सीइंग स्नो वाइट एंड द सेवन ड्वार्फ्स in a small little cinema hall in Kalimpong called Kanchan, जहाँ पे खटमल होता था, और I must have been about 8-9 years old. So those memories, so it was overwhelming at times to be working for such a brand. लेकिन बहुत मजा आया.
Were your kids born by the time you were working for Disney?
Kid एक ही है, इस बजट में एक ही मिलता है. So yes, he was. So it was a great time for him, because when we launched, Mickey came down from the States to do the launch. So my kid got to meet Mickey. So it's a great time for kids. I was working in Disney at the right time, or I used to get lots of goodies from Disney, so I used to bring it back home for him. So he pretty much grew up on a diet of Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse. Oh, देखो, मेरा क्या कर रहे हो? इधर आ जाओ, कैसे? Donald Duck and all of that. So he had a great time when I was in Disney.
Oh, that is amazing. And now that you were doing some mimicry for it, I have also read that you did some voice artist work for Cars 2 and The Wild.
Yes. So I used to love dubbing. So I did the Hindi version of Cars 2. I was playing the main villain in Cars 2, and I played multiple characters in a film called The Wild, which of course no one knows about it because it sank without a trace. It didn't do well at all. But Cars 2 in the Hindi version, I do the villain in a Bengali accent. So he's supposed to be a Bengali professor. What was it called? Something top. Professor Z, they used to call him. Anyway, so if you get to see Cars Hindi, then you will hear my voice. उधर क्या कर रहा है? उधर बोला, Lightning McQueen कहाँ है? पूरी बाबा. So immediately audience enjoys that kind of humor, and they usually a lot of also cartoons, when they're dubbed, they take on these movie star. Hey, देखो. So they become like Saif.
Yeah.
मेरा 2.5 किलो का हाथ. So everybody sort of recognizes those stock characters.
Maybe you were in all these stuff with Disney, everything very light-hearted, and then you move up, and then you work for shows like Crime Patrol and Savdhan India, which are like really intense crime-related shows. So what attracted you to that path?
So in 2012, the channel called Life OK, and they were looking for a crime show. So Crime Patrol was already around for a long time. It was it's a very old show.
Yes.
So Life OK wanted to do a not similar, but a crime show for Life OK, in competition with Crime Patrol, which used to come on Sony. So we pitched the idea, my production house. And so we created this show called Savdhan India, and it took off in 2012. And so we produced over 1,000 episodes, and over the last 7 years or so. And then so it was a natural progression, I guess, because see, as a producer, one has to be open to all kinds of content. Tomorrow I can't say कि वो यार मुझे daily soap पसंद नहीं है. As a creator, I may have my areas of expertise, but as a creator who's running a company, I have to feed the mouths and stomachs of my team, of
Of
my
course.
huge employee base. So I have to be ready to be able to create content on anything, you know. So you create daily soaps when you have to, you create a crime show when you have to. तो इस बार क्राइम शो का बारी आई तो हम जाके पिच किए, पसंद आया चैनल को और हो गया 2012 से सावधान इंडिया, and it started doing really well. In people started calling the name of the show as India Fights Back.
Yeah, exactly.
सावधान इंडिया, तो सब इंडिया फाइट्स बैक, तो वो फाइट बैक वाला जो एक कंपोनेंट था शो का बहुत पॉपुलर हो गया, क्योंकि ये अंडरडॉग का स्टोरी था कि हम कैसे प्रॉब्लम्स को फेस करते हैं, बट वी कैन फाइट बैक एंड गेट जस्टिस.
True.
तो वो था. देन हाल ही में वी स्टॉप्ड प्रोड्यूसिंग सावधान इंडिया, एंड immediately we got a call from crime patrol team, because abhi now we are known as the crime specialists. So now we are producing Crime Patrol as well, which is actually India's #1 crime show. And it's a beauty, and it's more realistic. It's more gritty. The research is solid. सब कुछ जैसे रियल केस में हुआ है वैसे दिखाते हैं. तो बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था दोनों शोज में. एक है जो अपना ही बेटी है सावधान इंडिया, और दूसरी है जो बेटी शादी करके आई है घर पे. तो दोनों ही सही है.
That is amazing. Because my mom and I love crime shows. So we used to watch like CID for a long time, but then CID became really monotonous. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
दया कुछ तो गड़बड़ है.
गड़बड़ है. दरवाजा तोड़ दो. Then we shifted to Savdhan India, and then Crime Patrol has always been like all-time favorite.
Yeah.
I also love Crime Patrol, and I did an internship actually with Crime Patrol, but I did it with the Satark team. So I did it there, and like it was so realistic. So I remember there's this. I think you might know. There's a गांव near Bombay. It's called Us.
अच्छा, okay, उस गाँव. हाँ.
तो हम उस गांव में शूट कर रहे थे, and then there were a bunch of college students only. They came on their bikes, and we had those police की cars standing outside because there's police scene going on. And I don't know why, but these guys thought that it was actual police, and like the team had a hearty laugh on it.
एक बार हम शूट कर रहे थे और उस दिन पुलिस का कार आया, तो मुझे पता नहीं चला कि ये असली पुलिस है. तो वैसा भी हुआ है कि पुलिस का कार आया है और असली पुलिस आए हुए हैं, और मैं कहा अच्छा चलो शॉट तैयार है, चलो चलो, बोलता हूँ मैं असली पुलिस हूँ.
Like, what drove you to like fear files? Like, did you have like a fascination for ghost stories or something from?
Of course. Don't we all love ghost stories?
Of course.
As long as it doesn't happen to us.
Yes.
So again, we were very blessed to be called by the channel one day, and the team at Z called us and said, "Would you like to, produce Fear Files?" So we said, "Yeah, sure. We'd love to." And then they said, "Okay, you have 2 weeks to put up 2 episodes."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, but we managed to do that, and then we got a regular contract with them. We produced, I think, about 60 odd episodes of Fear Files, which I used to also write. I used to love writing horror, so I used to write the episodes as well. So मजा आ गया था वो शो करने में.
So you were behind a lot of night terrors for people, writing all those gory details in. So you have worked in crime for like in shows like Crime Patrol and etc. And then you wrote a book which is like The Deadly Dozen. So what inspired you to write that book, and like what drove you towards that?
This is the book that I have written. Deadly Dozen, India's most notorious serial killer, Anirban Bhattacharya, वो मैं हूँ. So what happened was in 2018, I got in touch with a gentleman called Suhail Mathur, who runs a literary agency called the Book Bakers.
Yeah.
तो इत्तेफाक से मैं मिला उनसे, और बातों बातों में मैं बोला कि भैया मुझे लेखक बनना था, सपना था मेरा. तो वो बोला कि अरे यार, I run a literary agency. So he said, why don't you write a book? And he said, because you're known for your crime shows, it will be easier to pitch a book to the publisher which is about true crime. Or true crime as a genre does very well.
Yeah.
So then I pitched a couple of ideas, or he pitched it to Penguin, and Penguin immediately picked up this idea of serial killers. Or that's how it is. And I wrote the book. Took me about a year. Took me about a year to write, research, and write the book. And yeah.
So you picked up True Tales for the book. So I
Yeah.
haven't had the pleasure to read it yet, but my father has, and he really loved it. But he also told me like there are like really clear details in the book. So I can only imagine like when you would be writing it. So how did you go about the process of writing it? Because I also imagine that there would have been a lot of information to condense it all and to write it, and probably by writing it you would just feel like you're reliving it. So how was it for you?
Yeah. So when you're writing a book, one of the primary questions you ask as a writer is, whose story am I telling? Right? Whose point of view? So for me, it was very easy. It was about the serial killers. So it was the criminal point of view, right? It was the mastermind. So I had to go through the mastermind's mind and write those stories. Now, all the research that I got was from the police point of view, which was exactly the opposite, which was cut and dry. It was facts. हाँ, मारा था, गला दबा दिया था, बॉडी को 16 टुकड़ा में काट दिया था, जो भी है. It was very dry, very clinical thing. So I had to read between the lines and find out what these people were really like. Study their psychology, and get to know them. So I was literally inside their heads, while I was writing this book, because I was telling the story about how these serial killers came about as well. So it's not just about the crimes, but it's about why and how they became serial killers. So I had to tell them from a criminal point of view. So it was a fascinating time researching the stories, and also then rewrite and to sort of write them. It was a very tough process because the research was so much in some cases and so little in some cases. So then I had to really dig deep and find the material. But it's, at the end of the day, it's a very entertaining book. Unfortunately, the wrong word to use, but it's a very entertaining masaledar book. I didn't want to make it into a cut and dry, like a thesis. I had to tell a story, and I had to tell an interesting story, or tell a story interestingly, so that readers get hooked. So thankfully, the readers got hooked.
When you read up cases, some people like seem to, you start to associate with the serial killer, and then you kind of get to see their point of view or something like that. Did you go through any kind of those phases while writing?
What we call like the Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So no. They are bloodthirsty killers. I mean, there is no justification to their killings at all. When a killer rapes a 6-year-old girl and chops her body or strangles, how can one even justify that act? So there was no feeling sympathy for them at all. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they got the punishment that was due to them.
So when I was reading about your book, it said that if you think that the Western phenomena is a serial killer, think again. And then there were a bunch of like cases where you have just mentioned one line. So I would not like to spoil it for the readers, but were there any kind of stories that really stood out to you and you were like, how could this be possible?
A lot of them. See, Also, one of my reasons why I wanted to write about serial killers of India was because everyone thinks it's a very Western phenomena. कि सिर्फ उधर ही टेड बंडी होता है या चार्ल्स मैनसन होता है. इट्स नॉट. इंडिया में भरपूर है सीरियल किलर्स, भरपूर है. तो आई वांटेड टू sort of get the public to sort of know that. Um, there were killers like Darbara Singh, who's known as the child killer. He used to rape and kill children. That really shocked me. There was the case of a mother and two daughters, Anjana Bai, Renuka Shinde, and Seema Gavit from Pune, who used to kill children. That really shocked me. What they used to do was, so they were pickpocket. They used to pickpockets in temples and all of that. Or they figured out that if they had a baby with them, they would not be suspect. So पहले वो बच्चे चुराते थे, किडनैप करते थे, जो 1 साल के, 1.5 साल के. हम अक्सर क्या करते हैं, हम कहीं पे जाते हैं और बच्चे को बोलते तुम इधर ही रुको, मैं पानी लेके आ रहा हूँ. और वो 15 सेकेंड ही उनको लगता था बच्चे को उठाने के लिए, तो बच्चे को उठा लेते थे. उसके बाद जाते थे मंदिर में और दे यूज्ड टू पिक पॉकेट. अगर पकड़े गए and the public is, screaming at them or whatever, they used to drop the baby on the floor and smash its skull. Okay, and they say देखो देखो तुम लोग ने धक्का दिया, देखो मेरे बच्चे को क्या हो गया, मुझे हॉस्पिटल जाने दो, मैं तो माँ हूँ, मैं चोर कैसे हो सकती हूँ, all of that. So like that they killed many babies. So those kind of things really shocked me. And as you were saying, sort of you lose trust in humanity. And you question, kaise, what kind of a world are we living in, where people don't hesitate to take another person's life, and in such a heinous way, and especially children. Kya bigara hai, wo bacche. But that's the way these people were or are.
Yeah, these are just sickening stories. Like you feel it in your gut, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh my god, how is that even possible? Because with like, and then you chose the idea of having like a dozen stories. So was there any reason that you chose that as a standpoint for your book?
So the original idea was to present 20 stories. लेकिन मैं जब रिसर्च किया और लिखता चला गया, the book had become very big. So we decided to cull down the number to 10 stories, and then I said no, let's the Deadly Dozen naam has a ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's an alliteration right there.
Yeah. So that's how 12 happened. But originally the idea was to do 20 stories, but बहुत लंबा हो जाता किताब. और because the original idea was to do the stories, but in a simple तरीके से. लेकिन जब मैं लिखता चला गया और जब मैं रिसर्च करने लगा, I thought I have to tell the stories in every detail possible. नहीं तो it's doing injustice, to the stories. And so that's how it became a big book. So I think it's about an 80,000 word kitab. To that now.
Yeah. Also, you chose like a time at night, and like, as it is always said that all these things that happen at night, people get like really scared. Were there any times when you were writing the book where it really hit you harder because it was night time and you felt that gut-wrenching feeling?
हाँ, वही अंजना बाई, सीमा गावित वाली जो स्टोरीज जब लिख रहे थे, तब मैं उल्टी कर I vomited when I was doing the research about these babies being battered and all of that. I was really sickened, to the core. And so I'm also writing a horror book. तो उसमें while I'm writing, रात को ही लिखता था और लिखता हूँ, तो मुझे खुद डर लगने लगा. तो मैं सिर्फ 2 ही स्टोरीज अब तक कंप्लीट कर पाया हूँ.
I would like to ask you a question about the books that you're writing at the moment, because I know that you are in the process. So would you like to talk a bit about those?
Okay, so my next book is very different from the crime book which I've written. It's for young adults, so it's a kids book.
Oh
It's
wow.
already been picked up by a publisher. So formal announcement abhi hoga very soon. So that's the next one that's going to see the light of day. I have also completed a book of poetry with it's a collection of 40 poems with photographs from a friend of mine called Ashish.
Wow.
His photographs are there accompanying the poems. I'm writing a book. It's a love story set in the political against the political agitation of the GNLF, which was the Gorkha National Liberation Front agitation in the 80s, late 80s in Kalimpong and Darjeeling. So that's a novel that I'm writing. It's a true novel, as in a true event novel. That's in the process, and I'm writing a memoir of my growing up in Calcutta and Kalimpong. So 4 books, and if I get around to the horror one, himmat hoga to wo complete karunga.
Oh wow. So you've kept yourself really busy during lockdown. Everybody's talking about being unproductive. You're being super productive, it seems.
And I try to, but ऐसा भी हुआ है रात में जब बैठता हूँ लिखने के लिए उस दिन लगता है नहीं यार आज Netflix देख लेता हूँ तो then writing goes for a toss. So yeah, that's
That
a
is.
big distraction. Yeah.
So going back to the book of that you wrote, were there any authors that really inspired you? Because you said you were into reading as a child. Were there any authors from the beginning of that, like beginning when you started your reading, that really inspired you, which actually led you to write this book?
No, so it's a very different genre from the kind of stuff that I read. So I don't read crime books because I don't want to influence my own writing.
Mm-hmm.
I may research stuff, but I don't usually read crime books, like true crime books. But the authors I read are people like Amitav Ghosh, who I think is the god,
Of
or
course.
Murakami, Marquez, and I like to read a lot about travelogues, travel writing. So I read Bill Bryson, who I think he is so amazing, and I read Pico Iyer, and I like to read biographies.
Yeah.
So, like an autobiography of a yogi, I must have read about 3 or 4 times, I think, or the Dalai Lama's autobiography. Um, Movie stars and movie directors, I'd like to read about that. Music, so Eric Clapton and Bono and all of that I've read. So my reading is very different from what I write. Um, but yeah, so I wish, I mean, if I can even do 1/10 of what one paragraph, if I can excel like Murakami, I'll be very happy.
Media student, and I have this question from a personal interest towards it. So the industry of media and communications have gone through an immense change, and like it's ever changing. And you did your masters in it, and like I'm still studying it, and there's been a lot of change. But you being in the industry, have you seen any specific changes that have really stood out to you in the industry, which you never expected as a student?
I think the storytelling has changed from a creative point of view. The kind of stories now that we are seeing on movies and on television and the OTT platforms are very different to the kind of movies and content that we were growing up with, at that point of time. Any kind of a film that sort of was slightly different was labeled as art cinema or middle of the road cinema. Now it's become a common thing. Now there are movies like Article 15 being made, or
Yeah.
movies like Ship of Theseus being made, um, and also like people like Ayushmann Khurrana are doing these movies, and he's a legit star. He is one of the biggest stars in the country, and yet he chooses these beautiful scripts, which can be termed as a middle of the road cinema, but
Absolutely.
with entertainment. Now it's mainstream. So what middle of the road cinema used to be, now it's mainstream.
Yeah.
Dam Laga Ke Haisha. I mean, it's a story about a man who can't stand his fat wife, And who would have made a film like that, or Shubh Mangal Savdhan, or Zadeh Savdhan? You
Yeah.
know, so movies are changing. The way we tell stories are changing. You've got amazing stories on Netflix and Amazon Prime, a Jamtara or a Delhi Crime or The Family Man.
Yeah.
Things. So things are changing. So that's the biggest, I think, shift that I have seen. Also now, with the advent of technology and all of that, globally, it's also changing how we tell our stories. Now there used to be a time when there were only a handful of directors, a handful of actors.
Yeah.
It used to be the privileged few, or people who knew the craft or knew the art of telling stories. Now you've just got a phone and you're the director. You can actually shoot and direct on the phone, and everybody's a director, everybody's an actor. Suddenly the field is opened up and exploded.
True.
So that has changed again. I think one of the things that I really like to live by and practice is to do everything possible, whatever it is, and therefore I wear so many hats, because what I figured out is that our lives are limited. We are on a limited time here.
True.
We are like a taxi. वो बचपन में जब पैदा होता है तब मीटर डाउन हो जाता है और वो मीटर चलता रहता है. There is no stopping that meter, right? And at some point of time, the meter ka mechanism will stop, right? You don't know. Sometimes you get a faulty meter and you check out early in life. Sometimes you get a good meter and you are around till 70, 75, 80. But we are all on meters. And it's that one life we have, and you should attempt to do everything that you desire to do. But we get bogged down by a lot of the things. Like log kya kahenge is one big one.
Yes, of course.
What will people say? Let them say what they want to say. You're not living your life according to their likes and dislikes. Just go out and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's my advice. One life. One life.
Yes. Thank you so much, AB, for joining us today. I wanted to do this interview from my own personal incentive because I am a media communication student, and it's really nice to meet people from the industry and people like you who are willing to share so much and so much part of their life with people to just learn. And there is so much that I've learned today from this interview, and I'm pretty sure that people who are going to view this are also going to learn so much. So thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute delight, and yeah, thank you so much.
I want to thank Yayavar and Nupur for giving me this opportunity to be here. Nupur and I are great friends, and so Yayavar is a great endeavor, and they've already pulled off two very successful lit fests, the Jalandhar one and the Jammu one. So thank you, Nupur, for having ये नाची इसको एक मौका देने के लिए. So, thank you.
Well, this is it for this episode of Reminiscing in Conversation with AB and Kashish Sandhu. Stay tuned for a new episode every Saturday at 7 p.m. Yayavar Literary Festival brings to you Reminiscing.